The moment my world shattered came without warning. The door burst open with a force that sent a gust of air through the quiet apartment. Ingrid stood there, breathless, her chest rising and falling in quick succession, her eyes wild with urgency. She was undressed, her bare skin flushed as though she had run through the cold only moments before. Water clung to her, glistening under the bathroom light. "Darling, I need to shower right now," she gasped, brushing past me without so much as a second glance. I had been kneeling by the guest shower, hands damp from the slow trickle of water I had been fixing. The wrench in my grip felt suddenly foreign, its cold metal pressing into my palm. My brows knit together as I turned to her, irritation flickering in my chest. "Can't you wait a moment?" I asked, standing up, my voice firmer than I had intended. She ignored me, twisting the knob with trembling fingers. The water roared to life, drowning out the silence that had stretched between us. Something about her was different, her urgency unnatural. I took a step back, about to leave, when the light shifted just so, casting a faint glow over her thigh. And that was when I saw it. My breath hitched. A mark, a handprint, red and distinct, stamped against the smooth curve of her skin. It was too large to be mine, too fresh to be anything but deliberate. My pulse quickened, a cold shiver racing down my spine. My fingers curled into fists at my sides as the truth coiled itself around my throat, suffocating. I wanted to look away, to convince myself it was nothing, a mere shadow, an illusion of light. But my body betrayed me. My gaze remained locked on the evidence that stripped away every ounce of trust one had once held. "Victor, could you give me some privacy?" Ingrid's voice broke through the deafening silence, softer now, almost hesitant. I turned away, but my mind reeled. The past few weeks flashed before me. Her late nights, the sudden secrecy, the way she kept her phone out of sight, always angled away from me. The pieces I had ignored, dismissed as nothing more than the ebb and flow of a long marriage, fell into place with devastating clarity. I should have known. The burn of betrayal settled deep in my chest, not fiery and wild, but cold and merciless. I exhaled slowly, forcing my expression into something neutral, something unreadable. This was not the time for confrontation, not yet. If she thought I would react like a fool, if she expected me to beg, to demand, to crumble under the weight of this revelation, she was mistaken. No, I would not break. I walked past the bathroom door, my footsteps measured, deliberate. But as my fingers brushed against the doorframe, a surge of anger surged through me, too powerful to contain. My resolve shattered in an instant. With one swift motion, I turned back, stormed into the bathroom, and slammed the door shut behind me. The sound echoed off the tile, a thunderous punctuation to the storm raging inside me. Ingrid flinched, her eyes wide with shock. "Victor," she started, but I cut her off, my voice low, trembling with fury. "What the hell is going on?" The air between us crackled with unspoken truths, with the weight of a betrayal that had yet to be voiced. This was the moment everything changed. The air between us was thick, heavy with unspoken truths and the weight of betrayal. My voice was low, dangerously calm as I fixed my gaze on Ingrid. "Are you cheating on me?" She froze, her eyes widening in alarm, her hands moving instinctively to cover herself as if shielding the truth from my sight. But it was too late. I had already seen everything I needed to. The damning evidence was written across her skin, impossible to ignore. "Victor, what are you talking about?" she stammered, her voice unsteady, her body tense. There was something in her eyes, something beyond the confusion she tried to feign. A flicker of panic, a hesitation that spoke louder than any denial she could offer. "Don't lie to me," I snapped, my voice razor-sharp. "What is that on your thigh? Tell me the truth, Ingrid. Right now." The silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. She stood motionless, her breath shallow, her gaze darting away from mine. Her lips trembled, but no words came. The guilt in her eyes was louder than any confession she could muster. "What do you mean?" she finally whispered, but her voice cracked, betraying her. I had no patience for games. No time for the carefully constructed lies she was scrambling to weave. My fists clenched, my anger surging. "I know you've been seeing someone else," I said, my voice rising, my control slipping with each second. "This mark, this handprint, how long has it been going on?" For a fleeting moment, her expression crumbled. Panic flashed across her face, and she looked as if she might cry. But then, just as quickly, she straightened, as if grasping for control. She took a slow step forward, her voice soft, almost pleading. "Victor, please." I cut her off before she could spin another lie. "Stop lying." I roared, my fury finally breaking free. "I saw the handprint, Ingrid. I saw the marks. Don't insult me by pretending I didn't. Do you think I'm blind? Do you think I can't see exactly what's happening right in front of me?" Her face twisted, and for the first time, I saw something beyond guilt, fear. Real, unfiltered fear. She knew she was cornered. There was no escaping the truth now. "Victor, she faltered, the words catching in her throat. "Enough," I said, my voice eerily steady now, the fire inside me burning colder, sharper. "I want to know everything. How long has it been going on? Who is he? Tell me." Ingrid staggered back, as if the weight of my demand had knocked the air from her lungs. Her fingers trembled at her sides as she stared down, grasping for an explanation that would never be enough. I could see it in her posture, in the way her shoulders caved inward. She knew there was no way out of this. I can't," she whispered, shaking her head. "It's complicated. I never wanted to hurt you, Victor. I swear I never." "Don't," I interrupted, my voice cutting through her excuses like a blade. "Don't tell me you never wanted to hurt me. You've already done it." Her breath hitched, her eyes shining with unshed tears. But I felt nothing for her anymore. Not sorrow, not understanding. Only a cold, hollow anger that settled deep in my bones. "I'm sorry," she whispered, but the words were empty. "It just happened." I let out a bitter laugh, the sound foreign to my own ears. "It just happened," I echoed, shaking my head. "No, Ingrid, it didn't just happen. You chose this. You chose him. You chose to lie, to betray me, and now you're going to feel the consequences of your actions." Her face turned ghostly pale, her lips parting in silent panic. "Victor, please, I'm begging you." But I had no mercy left in me. The pain she had inflicted ran too deep, the betrayal too raw. I wasn't going to let her off easy. Not now. Not ever. I took a slow step back, exhaling through my nose as my mind worked, piecing together the next steps with meticulous precision. This wasn't just about heartbreak anymore. It was about justice, about making her understand exactly what she had done. "Who is he?" I demanded again, my voice colder this time. Her lips trembled before the answer finally fell from them in a whisper. "His name is Lars," she admitted, barely audible. "He's a colleague from work. We've been seeing each other for a few months now." Something inside me twisted, but I didn't let it show. Lars, a man from her own office. My mind filled with images I didn't want to see, her laughing with him, stealing moments behind my back, sharing secrets meant only for us. "I didn't want it to happen like this," she continued, her voice breaking. "I was going to end it. I swear, Victor. I didn't want to hurt you." I scoffed, shaking my head. "You didn't want to hurt me? Ingrid, you destroyed me. And now you stand here, trying to soften the edges of your betrayal." I let out a slow breath, steadying myself. "No, I won't let you get away with this." She flinched, realizing the weight of my words. "You think I'll just forgive you?" I asked, tilting my head slightly. "That we can pretend this never happened?" My voice dropped to a whisper, laced with quiet menace. That's not going to happen. I turned from her, my step slow, deliberate. Victor, please, she sobbed, reaching for my arm. I pulled away sharply, my stare unyielding, my decision final. Pack your things, I said, my voice eerily calm. You're leaving. And when you do, I'll make sure you never forget what you did to me. Days passed, but my anger never dulled. Ingrid tried to reach me, pleaded with me, begged for a second chance. But I had already set my plans into motion. I didn't need to raise my voice. I didn't need to throw accusations. No! My revenge would be far more precise. I uncovered Lars' personal life with ruthless efficiency. And when the time was right, I delivered the truth to his wife, every sordid detail laid bare. The fallout was immediate, brutal. Ingrid and Lars were exposed, their affair unraveling under the weight of its own filth. Their carefully constructed world crumbled, and I watched it all from a distance, unmoved. As I sat in my apartment, the golden hues of the setting sun casting long shadows across the harbor, a strange peace settled over me. Ingrid had thought she could take everything from me, but in the end, it was I who emerged victorious. Revenge, I realized, wasn't about loud confrontations or reckless fury. It was about patience, about control. It was about making sure the person who betrayed you understood, without question, just how devastating their choices had been. And Ingrid? She learned the hard way that the truth always comes to light.